What up, boys? Welcome back to another strategy video. Today, we're not doing an in-depth strategy again. I don't know, I've just been sort of enjoying doing these more, I want to call them more free strategies, where I don't have to, I don't know, I'm just sort of here, I can give you the tips with my face to camera rather than like having to script it all and do audio and then put it on top of footage. It's just live and I don't know, it feels better to do, it feels more informative, if anything, because the tips I'm giving you are like, real. They're in real context and they're not just like, do this, do that. But yeah, with that pointless ranting out of the way, welcome back. Today we're going to be discussing draft. So I am actually going to try and enter this challenge. I have to skip these games. But also, I have my war attacks. We'll just dabble in that for a little bit. But to start off this video, I wanted to just discuss, like, generally what type of cards you want to be taking in draft. So the best way to describe this is to split it into offensive and defensive. For offensive cards, you want things that are sort of, they require a certain counter. So a good example would be maybe Goblin Barrel. Requires a log, or an arrows, or a barb barrel, or a snowball, or something like that to counter it getting a load of damage. You can obviously use Skarmy and stuff, but a lot of counters aren't the most effective. But what Goblin Barrel is balanced around is that most decks run a small spell. So Goblin Barrel isn't actually that good. But when you go into draft and your opponent might not have a small spell, Goblin Barrel will excel. Because of course there's no small spell and then it can get a load of damage. So I won't go through every single card here, but if we just take a look in the card pool, Goblin Barrel, obviously very good. Princess, good for the same reason. If you're going to use this on offense or on defense, to be fair, your opponent's going to need a spell for it, so that's a very good one to be taking. Things like Miner are generally not very good, because Miner can be countered by like everything, like skeletons, goblins, bats, spear goblins, Skarmy, archers, minions, like pretty much all of the cards will counter a bomber, so no, not bomber, a miner. So that's not the best one to be taking. But if you look at those cards and look for Gob Barrel, like skeletons won't, gobs, they'll do an okay job, but it won't be entirely. Bats, same, they'll do an okay job. Archers, same, do an okay job. Spear gobs will not. Skarmy will. So you can see all those things that counter a miner won't necessarily counter a Goblin Barrel, and that makes Gob Barrel such a good choice in draft. Things like Inferno Dragon as well are very good. Even if you're trying to use these on defense, just very good. If we go back here, like on offense, skeletons, gobs, and all that will stop him. But when you're using him to defend, your opponent's going to need a zap to reset him maybe, or an electro wizard maybe, or a lightning spell maybe. But really, those are like the only three cards that are great counters to him. You can use bats, but they're easily countered, right? If I'm using my Inferno Dragon on defense against like a giant, my opponent puts bats behind the giant, I can just zap the bats away, or I can block with an Ice Golem. But I can keep my Inferno Dragon alive is the main point there. So stuff that requires spells especially is very good. So God Barrel and Inferno Dragon we just discussed, very good. So as we just discussed, cards that are weak to spells like Rural Hogs, like Sparky, like Three Musketeers, like Elixir Collector are very good. Those are very good because your opponent might not have those spells, and then your troop is enhanced by your opponent not having that spell. But on top of that, it doesn't just work for spells. If we look at a card like Rural Recruits, these are actually very good in draft because you need, I don't even know what you need. You need like a wizard or a Valkyrie to bring them all to the middle and to splash them. So when you look at the cards, like Mega Knight will counter them, P.E.K.K.A will counter them, and you go down, Minion Horde maybe, Bowler, Wizard, I think Witch does, but then you go down Valkyrie, and there's not really that many cards that will counter Rural Recruits. So even though it doesn't require a spell, it requires a specific type of troop, which is a splasher, either ranged or with high health. And there's not too many of those in the game, so you know that you're probably going to get value from those recruits through the game. As for main win conditions, I mean, we're going to look at the draft pool, like, towards the end of the video, but I don't think I'd really be looking to take big tanks like Golem, because if you get a Golem and a Giant, you're screwed. So you probably want to give that to your opponent and hope they take a big tank, like a Giant, for example. So that's really it for offensive cards. You just want them to have specific counters that your opponent isn't guaranteed to get. So spells are very good, or very niche cards like either high health or ranged splash attackers. On defense, I think you pretty much want the opposite. I think you just want versatile troops, ones that will counter pretty much anything. Musketeer, very good. It does just a good job against general troops, right? Stuff like Ice Golem is extremely good. Stuff like, if I can find him, Knight is very good. It just counters like most ranged units. Rascals are just insane because they will deal with literally most units in the game. But you look at stuff more like Inferno Tower and it's actually not that great because you need your opponent to have a tank. And if your opponent doesn't have that tank, and say they're all swarms or all cards are under 4 elixir, then you don't really have a usage for Inferno Tower, which sucks. In general, defensive cards that are spell bait, like Magic Archer, are very good because there are 2 scenarios here. Either your opponent does get a spell and you've taken multiple spell bait cards. Clanmore, don't make noise. But yeah, either you've taken Magic Archer, your opponent has a spell, you've taken multiple spellbait cards, they can spell the Magic Archer, but you have another card that's going to get you value, and you know that they don't have another spell to deal with that. Or, alternatively, your opponent doesn't have a spell, and this spellbait card is just good because it's balanced around the fact that it will die to a spell. Now it can't die to a spell, it's going to get insane value. I do just real quick want to go through the examples of this. So, Princess is a very good one, Inferno Dragon and Dark Gob are very good ones, Zappies, I would say, are good. Magic Archer, I would say, is good. Royal Hogs, even though they're not defensive, I'd say they're good. Witch, I would say, is insanely good, along with Night Witch, because they need poison to be neutralized. Even Rascals, Spellbait, I would definitely be taking those. Barbarians, even Minion Horde, just very good cards all around, especially when your opponent doesn't have spells to deal with them. Just as general deck building, I guess you want to take cards that are more versatile. So say I had Poison or Log, I'd probably be taking Poison, just because that Poison can sort of be used as a log. It's not ideal, but I would probably still be taking it. But also make sure you're being adaptable to what you've already chosen. So if we come back to this choice here, if I've taken Goblin Barrel and Princess so far, and then I have Poison or Log, I'm going to take Log, because I don't want my opponent to be logging my Goblin Barrels. That one just makes common sense, but yeah, I thought I should say it anyway. Alright, Asterix is currently ruining my double elixir draft challenge, so I'm gonna just bail out of this challenge here quick, and then I'll be back for a gameplay, I guess. Alright, so now that's over and I got my amazing 2-win chest for Skeleton Barrels and Bombers. We'll go into this challenge. So I'm gonna talk you through my picks. Maybe I'll keep the gameplay and I don't really know. Here, definitely Scarming. As I said, Spellbait card. If my opponent doesn't have Zap, that's gonna be insane. The exact same reasoning for Inferno Dragon. If my opponent doesn't have Zap, that's going to be insane. This is the perfect example of what I've just been talking about. Bats, again, if my opponent doesn't have that spell. Here is a more complex one. I don't really have an offensive card, and I know Bandit's versatile, so I want the Bandit. Mega Minion's also versatile, but I don't have an offensive card right now. I already have air defense in Bats and Inferno Dragon, so I don't really need to take the Mega Minion, and I just have general defense with the rest of my cards, so Bandit was the choice there. My opponent has very graciously given me Raw Recruits, which I discussed. I'm actually glad. Raw Recruits are one that I really think are good in draft, but people will underrate a lot. So, yeah, I'm glad I got that. I don't really know what to do here. Rascals, again, a good card. Gobs, they're alright. I'm going to go Miner here. I just want to Scarmy this. Hopefully he'll let me. Because Scarmy's going to shut this down. Okay, cool. I know. Ah, that's annoying. Okay. Barrel's very good for him to have. Oh, he does have Zap. Oh, no, that's really bad. Oh, no, that's my entire game plan gone. Okay, I think we can still come out with this just because of how many Zap bait cards we do have. 2. Okay. I'm gonna have to wait for 7. This is annoying. I'm gonna have to let this lock. That's annoying. It's okay. We got the Raw Recruits down. That's an investment. I'm gonna go Miner with these because I don't think he can defend all of this. Oh no! If I could have turned the Exy around, that'd have been so good. Exy's a very good counter to those. It's a shame that you got that. And Gob. It's mad! I'm gonna protect my Scarmy there. He's already gonna zap it, to be fair. Yeah. And the Bandit will go. Alright, fine. That's some damage. We're still in this. We haven't used our Raw Giant yet. He knows we have that, though, so it's not actually going to be as much a surprise as I wanted it to be. Does he have a Punish play? I don't think so. So I think we're okay to invest this Raw Giant. I believe he'll have Barrel. I don't know if he has that back in hand, though. Alright, let's do it. We can Bats or Fireball. I'm going to Bat to Barrel if he does use it. Oh, I mean, I didn't know he had that, so this is actually going to be very bad for us. Hopefully, he has Mega Minion, doesn't he? Okay. So I'm going to play this here. Let's see if he plays his Mega Minion anywhere. Rascals, okay. I can hit that, that's worth it. Alright, I'll do that. That's fine. Oh, I hit some Gobs in there as well. Very nice. Okay. Okay, fine. Fine. I spent a lot of elixir on doing that. I'm going to have to let all this tower go, and then just focus on the other tower, because I can get this with a Miner. Unless he's going to invest more. I don't know, I need to get rid of this Xyz hit. Well, that's annoying. Xyz's dead, this will all die. I have Inferno Dragon on there. He has Mega Minion and Zap, though. It's going to out of range. It's fine, I have Raw Recruits here. This is fine. I can go here, because he just used his Zap. Okay, this is fine. I'm okay here. I'm gonna minor this. Hopefully I can get it with that instead of having to send a fireball. I was just gonna leave it. Ah, that's a waste. I didn't know he'd have left it. Fine. I need to fireball with this. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to hit the tower there, so I just fireballed there. That is fine. We are up in this game. Very nice. If he invests a golem in the middle, then I go here. I go here anyway. Yes, that's the one! I thought he was gonna do it, and I should win with that. I don't think there's anything he can do to stop that. Very nice. Okay. Perfect example of zap bait. I used that very well multiple times there, especially with the Inferno Dragon and the bats for the Mega Minion. So I knew he was going to zap it and play Mega Minion, so I knew I was then free to play bats, and then I had my Skarmy already, so yeah. Goblin Barrel, a very good, a relevant card to get for a draft challenge. So yeah, as I said, I'm going to analyze my picks quick and then his picks. Skarmy over Spirit. Just the right thing in general. Even though he had Zap, Skarmy is one of my best cards in there just because of how much DPS it does. And he didn't keep saving his Zap. He kept using it on my Inferno Dragon because, again, that's a very good card to have in draft. Because I know it's going to enable me to use my Skarmy or my Inferno Dragon. One of them's going to be free from his Zap. And in the end, it was ending up to be my Skarmy, which is very useful. Bats are the same deal. They're just they're like a smaller version, but also something your opponent's going to want to zap, right? If I did Miner and Bats in there, he's going to have to either spend 5 Elixir on Rascals or Executioner, either time an Ice Spirit, right? Or either then spend a Zap. So really, it's just very good for zap bait. The Bandit was just generally very good for getting an offensive threat. You saw there was one bandit in there which I got to the tower. He tried to block with an Ice Spirit, but you couldn't actually do successfully. So as for his picks, how you analyze these is his top left is my bottom right. So Golem, Royal Recruits, Barrel, Royal Giant, Rascals, Miner, Zap, Fireball. So here with Golem, Royal Recruits, I'd have taken Royal Recruits. I don't think you want to be taking tanks. If I, if I had this pick of Royal Giant, and I gave him the Royal Giant, which I would have done, he'd have been stuck with Golem, Royal Giant, which isn't good in single elixir draft. Maybe in double elixir draft you can get away with having 2 win conditions that are over 6 elixir, but in single elixir, no. I'd rather have Bandit and Miner, which I did end up having. And Royal Recruits, I don't know if I really was able to showcase it there because he had Executioner, but Royal Recruits are very good. No, I was able to showcase it. I actually got the right-hand tower with a stray Royal Recruit that I used on the left lane, maybe on a Golem. So, yeah, that's just a very good example. They'll cause 2-lane pressure that your opponent has to spend twice on, and if they don't have a very refined deck, which clearly doesn't because we're in draft, he's going to have to spend an Xe on one side, then a Mega Minion on the other side, and then I kill the Xe, because the Royal Recruits will kill the Xe, and he'll only have a counter-attacking Mega Minion. I'll get damage and 1 elixir. So yeah, in general, Royal Recruit's just good when your opponent doesn't have a very refined deck. Goblin Barrel or Royal Giant, he was right in taking Goblin Barrel, giving me the tank was the correct call, and Goblin Barrel is very good because Zap Bait. In terms of Rascals or Miner, again, the correct decision. Miner isn't very good because, as you saw, he can counter that with anything, right? He can go Mega Minion, he can go Rascals, he can go Goblins, all of that will counter, so he has a lot of counters to my Miner, and Rascals caused me issues. I had to keep fireballing them, even though that's not a good trade, because I have to get rid of the Rascal girls. I can't defend it with a Bandit. The girls will kill my Bandit. I can't defend it with Bats because the girls will kill the Bats. I can't defend it with Inferno Dragon because it's going to take too long. The boy will get to the tower. Can't defend it with Royal Recruits because that's a lot of elixir. I had to defend it with Skarmy every time, and I want to be using my Skarmy on Goblin Barrels and Golems, so I couldn't always be doing that. So Rascal's very good card to have. Zap or Fireball, I think in this case he was correct because he had Goblin Barrel, but generally I would advise Fireball over because it's more versatile. You saw I was able to use a Fireball on the Goblin Barrel right at the start because it's versatile. I couldn't have done that with Zap. You saw us fireballing Rascals, couldn't have done that with Zap. So I think he was right just because he had Barrel, but if he didn't have Barrel, maybe if he had like Skarmy or something, he'd have been right there. But generally, I would take the bigger spell there because it's more versatile. It's going to kill more things for you. Alright, so I understand this isn't the best looking part of the video, but shush, it's very difficult to like frame this where it looks nice. So very essentially, these are the entire draft pool. Well, the entire draft table, I guess. What happens here is I do believe these yellow categories are guaranteed to be 1 pick. So 5 out of the 8 picks are predetermined. You and your opponent will have a pick of a tank unit, an anti-air, a distraction, a direct damage, and a win condition. I do believe these are official. And then 3 of these are picked. So an investment, a punish, a hit tower, a special spell, a versatile leg. I don't really know what that means. Tank support, anti-tank, second spell, splash, mini tanks, basic freeze. So you will get one of these, and you can sort of infer from this what you should and shouldn't be picking by knowing that you're guaranteed one of these. So here's how it works. If I know I'm getting a tank unit, definitely somewhere in this game there's a tank. Then I look over here, and I see that there is... Let me look for something. Here, this will do. I see that there's P.E.K.K.A, right, in anti-tank. I know there's a tank unit, so if I get P.E.K.K.A as an anti-tank pick, so I can see the anti-tank picks, I'm probably not going to take it. If my choice is... I don't know, P.E.K.K.A or Hunter. I think I'm taking Hunter, just because I know there's a possibility I'm going to get a Giant, a Goblin Giant, a Golem, a Lava Hound, a Royal Giant, or Royal Recruit, and I don't want P.E.K.K.A with that. So I'm going to take the Hunter because it's more versatile, and I know it's not part of that tank unit set. This one is less important. You can have multiple anti-air, that's fine. You can have multiple distractions, that's fine. You can have multiple direct damage, that's fine. Win conditions, I would be cautious of. If I can see that I'm getting, I don't know, Royal Hogs here, and I see Expo as an investment choice, so I have Expo or Elixir Collector, I'm going to take the Elixir Collector, because I know that I already have what did I say? I said Royal Hogs. So I don't want Expo with Royal Hogs, I'd rather have Elixir Collector, especially because that's spell bait. So really, you want to infer from the guaranteed picks what you shouldn't be picking in the random picks. So essentially, if you're given a tank that isn't in the tank unit section, don't take that tank, because there's a very high possibility you're going to get another tank somewhere, and you don't want to. The same goes for win conditions. If you receive a win condition card like Expo that isn't in this win condition section here, don't take it, because there's a high chance you're going to get another win condition. Hopefully that makes sense. Essentially, if there's a win condition card that isn't in here, don't be taking it. If there's a tank unit that isn't in here, don't be taking it, because you're definitely going to be subject to having one of these cards. I think what I can do is maybe leave a link in the description. If I forget, somebody please leave a comment like instantly. Put it as the top comment, because I will read that. I'll probably forget, I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, I guess I'll come back over to the game screen to say thank you for watching. I don't have a full screen face cam on here because I'm doing this recording a little bit differently, so you're gonna have to cope with me on the overlay. Hopefully this video meant something. I think I've been recording for quite a long time, so maybe this is a bit longer, like the, what was it? It was how to level video that I did. It's a strategy video, so it should be a bit longer, and I hope you enjoyed it. But yeah, that's all from me. Hopefully draft makes a little bit more sense now, how the picks works, what you should be picking, what's strong on offense and defense. Just, I think there's a lot in this guide video that will help you win more drafts. But yeah, I'm gonna go play my clan more if my clan are done annoying me by stealing my game words. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and peace.